You're listening to XVGM Radio. Welcome to XVGM Radio, where the bits keep coming. I'm Mike.
And I'm Justin.
And this is episode 27, Water Themes.
Water. It is super appropriate because the night that we are recording, it is very, very wet out. It's actually been wet for a bit this week.
Yeah, it's been, for the most part, pretty much nonstop raining in our area.
Yeah.
And we were trying to come up with ideas for for the live show for May, and you suggested water themes, and I was like, that's a great idea. So I start filling out tracks, and I'm like going through, and I'm like, there's just too many, I got too many good picks, I can't, Justin, we gotta make this a full episode. And you were like,
yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much exactly word for word what he said. So that is today's theme, and there's some really good music that we are going to be showcasing. Some of it is uber chill and relaxing.
Like the track we just heard?
Yes. Well, no, I wouldn't call this relaxing. Really?
Really?
You would?
I mean, I would.
This makes me want to, like, dance.
Yeah,
Maybe dance in the rain.
It's dancey, but it's also like it goes on for long enough that I feel like I'd start out dancing to this and then sort of like kick back on a couch and just sort of like chill for a while. It's upbeat, but it's not so upbeat that like I can't sit still. It doesn't make me antsy like some of the techno that I like.
We are clearly very different when it comes to EDM and techno, because this is totally a dance track, and I would be on the dance floor for all 5 minutes and 39 seconds or whatever it was.
Yeah, I actually composed a track similar to this.
Oh yeah?
When I was in college, it was for a project. I had to make a commercial, and I made a techno track. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying that I composed this track.
Yeah.
I composed something that was very similar thematically, and it was something that after the project was done, I would occasionally throw that song on and just sort of like listen to it and vibe out.
Yeah, get the glow sticks out?
No, just like taking a whole bunch of drugs. No, I'm joking. But yeah, no.
He's talking about Flintstones vitamins, kids.
Yes, Flintstones vitamins and Robitussin. Wait, no, cut that.
Wait, no. Justin, you're screwing this up.
Sorry.
So the game that we're talking about is Wetrix. That's what we came in on, and that was the N64 version, and that came out in 1998. There was also a Windows version that came out in 1999 and a Dreamcast version that came out in 2000. The track that we heard was Pro Mode Challenge Mode, and it's by Suddi Raval. Totally techno jam.
Oh yeah. I assume most of the soundtrack is like this? Based on what I'm seeing the game is?
If I recall, it's kind of a mixed bag.
Really?
It's mostly techno. So, Suddi Raval, just to kind of touch on this real quick, has been in the game since 94, where he did work on Tin Star, and also worked with Software Creations on Venom, Spider-Man, Separation Anxiety in 95. He was one of the musicians. Also worked on sound effects for Foreman for Real in 95. Basically, he was working with Software Creations for a couple years. He ended up doing a bunch of Lego games later on in his career, basically either doing audio managing or the audio lead on games like Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, Lego Harry Potter Years 5 through 7. He did Lego City Undercover, the Lego movie game, the Lego Ninjago movie video game. Every time I see Ninjago, every time I see that title, I can't stop but think of Jago from Killer Instinct.
Oh, okay.
You know, the ninja?
Yeah.
He also did Diary Girl. Organize, chat, and play every day in 2008.
Ooh.
Oh
that
boy.
Sounds very exciting.
Oh boy, but Suddi Raval is a really fantastic composer. I enjoy this track quite a bit, but I also really dig this type of music. So, I don't know. Yeah. I like me some techno. This is like one of those like progressive trance type tracks that just kind of builds and then goes back down. And you know, this one though, it doesn't really have like a breakdown. You know, I kind of feel like it just kind of goes from the beginning and just kicks butt and just keeps kicking butt.
Yeah.
It never stops.
I enjoyed this one all the way through. I dig the track. The game itself is...
Have you played it?
No, I've not. But I do know a little bit about it.
Okay.
I've heard that it was originally created as like a tech demo for flowing water, like flowing water technology
right,
for video
like
games.
the physics of water flowing.
It was originally supposed to be for a game called The Vampire Circus that the studio Z2 were trying to get off the ground, but ultimately, from what I understand, so on the N64 and the other versions that you that you can play this on, you get like a flat square of land, and you want to get like as many points as possible through managing like a landscape of lakes and the water and all that stuff. But the big thing about this is the realistic water flowing.
Yeah, the way that the water
mechanics.
flows. Yeah. It's the best way to explain it, the easiest way is it's like Tetris. So it's a puzzle game.
You know, it's funny with a name like Wetrix. I was going to make the joke at the beginning, like, oh, what is this, Tetris with water?
Tetris with water.
Turns out it is.
It is pretty much. You're building. You've got, as Justin said, the square piece of land, a square spot basically to create land. And what happens is land appears like small pieces or chunks of land that you can drop down. So you drop them down and they form based on the frame of the puzzle piece, very similar to Tetris. And then what you're supposed to do with that land is you're supposed to build like a perimeter and basically build like a square piece of land that the water can go into. And then the water will occasionally drop down and fill this hole, like occasionally. So what you have to end up doing is kind of managing the land with the water constantly rising as it drops, and you get these like bombs that you can use to basically steam the water away so the water like evaporates. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's definitely a weird take on a puzzle game. Like, I've never seen anything like this before. I know it's very similar to Tetris, but it's like a wonky, watery world version of Tetris.
Huh.
Pretty cool.
Very, very interesting. Yeah, so like different things fall from the sky, things that will raise the land in certain areas, or the bombs that you mentioned, or just like things of water and you need to try to contain the water. That's really cool.
And that's the whole point of the game, is to make it so that the water doesn't spill over one of the sections.
Right.
So that's why you're constantly building the landscape up. So
Neat.
pretty cool. So I'll have to pick this one up. I don't know if there's any major differences between the 64 version and the Windows and the Dreamcast version. I assume the Dreamcast version is the absolute best version you could get.
Yeah, I think it's actually called Wetrix Plus.
Wetrix Plus, okay, yeah. But this version of the song, I believe, was the N64 version. You know, N64 does a really good job with dance music, like dance and trance and prance, like prance music.
Yeah.
All that like electronic EDM type stuff. They've always done a really good job with it. If you listen to like Conker's Bad Fur Day, the dance track that's in Conker's Bad Fur Day when you go to the club with Conker, like that type of stuff.
Yeah, there's also a number of racing games. I believe I played an N64 or a track from an N64 racing game.
San Francisco Rush.
Yeah,
that
might have been it.
2049 and San Francisco Rush 2.
Yeah, there's some really good stuff in
Extreme
those.
G, like all those types of like racing or puzzle or you know, any of these types of games, they do a really good job with techno music. So it's good that we can kind of showcase the N64 for some positives.
Yeah,
so
cool.
So we're gonna move on through our watery world of tracks. So just to clear something up regarding the theme, it's not like, oh, the song has to have water in the name.
Oh yeah, no, like water themes.
Yeah.
We're thinking of themes that are playing when in like water stages,
Right.
or games that involve a lot of water.
Games-
Like Wetrix, the entire game involves water, so like any of the tracks from that were free game.
Yes, exactly. So we will move on to Earthworm Jim. This came out on the Sega Genesis in 1994. It also came out on the Super Nintendo, but we are not showcasing that version. We're showcasing the Genesis version specifically. So this is the 94 release. This track is Level 5, and it's by Tommy Tallarico and Mark Miller. Welcome back. That was Earthworm Jim.
Now that you've terrified all of our listeners.
That was Earthworm Jim on the Genesis. Came out in 1994. That was Level 5 by Tommy Tallarico and Mark Miller. I really love that grungy bass. Do.
I like both the bass, like the bass guitar in this, and the drums in it.
Yeah,
because the drums are really clear.
Thick.
Yeah, well, because I remember a way back there was a track. There was a Genesis track that you had played, and I was like, the bass drum sounds like somebody took a bass drum and threw it in the mud. And I was listening specifically in this one because I don't know why, but that came back in my head, and I was like, all right, no, this doesn't sound like that. This sounds like a really good bass drum. So it's possible to do it right. But I will say about the song,
Yeah. Yeah, those synths are killer.
Oh my god.
I really love this track, and I especially love it on the Genesis. And that's not to say I don't like the Super Nintendo soundtrack, because it's actually my preferred favorite.
Really?
Yeah. So I grew up with the Super Nintendo version because I didn't have a Genesis. I don't know, it's partly nostalgia for me, but also I feel like the instrumentation is better than the Genesis version in most tracks, especially that new, I think it's called, is it New Junk City, the first level?
I don't remember.
I want to say New Junk City, but I think I'm confusing it with something else.
Is it New Junk Swing?
New Junk Swing? I don't know.
No.
But, yeah, this version just is a little bit more gritty, a little bit tougher, and it really takes advantage of the Genesis style and sound.
Yeah.
It really takes advantage of that FM synth.
Yeah.
So...
And this game came out on the Genesis first, right? This was
Yes.
Genesis release, and then it was ported.
Then it was ported to the Super NES, and then it got ported again to the Sega CD, and that version is the special edition, which has all new Red Book audio.
I was just going to say, that's all Red Book audio tracks, so that's yet another take on everything.
And that's arguably probably the best version of the soundtrack is the Sega CD version, but I just really like bits and pieces of this soundtrack on various systems.
Yeah, I mean, arguably is a word. I would say the quality from the Sega CD is probably the best because it's Red Book audio.
Yeah.
But as far as anything else goes, you can argue anything. Like, your preferences are preferences.
Oh, sure.
And I mean, I didn't play this one on the SNES. I actually played it on the Genesis.
Oh, did you? Okay.
But I didn't complete it. I played.
It was
some
tough.
of it. Yeah. I mean, it was tough. I also didn't own a Genesis, so I could only play, as much as I could play over friends' house. And it was a lot of fun. Like, just the nostalgia for this game isn't as high for me because it wasn't a game that I owned. I do remember watching the cartoon.
I love the cartoon.
It was so silly.
It was so good.
But the game itself was just a lot of fun, mostly because, like, as a kid, it's one of those things I didn't have it, so it was a special treat when I got to play it.
I also feel like on the Super Nintendo version, the instrumentation is better than the Genesis version in most tracks. If you listen to New Junk City, if you listen to the What the Heck, I believe it is, with the that track, the instrumentation on that and the follow-up to that track, the one that's like swinged, the smooth jazz, do 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 do, and then you've got the screaming in the background and stuff.
Oh yeah.
The instruments on that sound exactly what they're supposed to be, and on the Genesis version they don't. They sound like typical Genesis stuff. So I feel like, and people can disagree with me, but I feel like the Genesis is really, really, really good at producing music that is really hard-hitting and is just really energetic and takes advantage of strong bass. Like strong, utilizing stuff like that slap bass and everything. Yeah. But when it comes to like classical theme stuff, anything with instruments that don't sound like you know what I mean?
Because you're always going to get synthesized instruments out of the Genesis, whereas with the SNES you're getting samples.
Right, you're getting samples. There's that track, more like when you get a game over or continue, the one that sounds like a trumpet. Yep. And it sounds like a trumpet on the Super NES version. On the Genesis version, it's just like, it sounds to me inferior. But again, as we said earlier, it's, I'd love to hear everyone's comments in the episode, either on Facebook, reach out to us on facebook.com/groups/XVGM Radio, or hop into our Discord and yell at me there. Polarizing opinions.
And that's one of the great things about our listeners is they are not afraid to share their opinions. And it's a fun discourse. Like, nobody comes on and says like, "Oh, I hate you, Mike. I can't believe you said that. I'm never listening to the show again."
Everybody says that.
That's true. We've lost a lot of listeners because of you. I think I gotta fire you.
Yeah.
But no, this is what this is all about. Is I prefer this, you prefer that. Somebody else prefers something else. Somebody might.
That's the way the world should work. Justin.
Yeah, and well, so long as what people prefer isn't the death of somebody.
Sure.
Anyway,
like the death of Princess What's Her Name from the cow.
Oh, Princess What's Her Name
from the cow landing on her.
Yes,
because I don't know if you knew that, but that happened. That's how the game ends.
What, really?
Spoilers. Oh, that's right. You never beat it.
The game's been out for a long time. Spoiler tags or whatever, but
that's how the game ends. Is you save Princess What's Her Name, and then she gets crushed by the cow that you launched in the beginning of the game.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So good. All right, so Mark Miller and Tommy Tallarico, these two kind of joined at the hip for most of their early careers. Started off with doing music direction on Toe Jam and Earl in 91, which John Baker worked on. Spider-Man in 91, which was the Genesis version. Tasmania, which, again, Genesis version. Then moved over to the Sega CD with Sewer Shark in 92, just to kind of jump around. Did stuff with Chakan or Chakan.
Shere Khan?
Shaka Khan. I don't know. And then he started working with Tommy Tallarico on stuff like RoboCop versus the Terminator, Daffy Duck, the Marvin Missions? The Marvin Missions.
Yeah. That's a good game.
In 93. Then later on went to do Taz in Escape from Mars. A lot of licensed stuff. Disney's Jungle Book. He also did the gameplay music in the Sega CD Cadillacs and Dinosaurs game. Yeah, he worked only on the first one for Earthworm Jim.
Yeah.
And then he later on did Gex Enter the Gecko in 98 with John Baker again.
Yeah, that was a fun one too.
Yep. So, and then Tommy Tallarico, goodness. I mean, what hasn't that guy done? Wild 9, Cool Spot, I believe he did. The 7-Up game.
Yep.
He did the Terminator game on Sega CD. He worked on the Advent Rising soundtrack. From the mid-2000s, Tommy Tallarico is more famously known for working in the industry for Video Games Live.
Oh, yes.
Yep. And he also is now the president of Coleco.
Oh, wow.
Or in television.
Yeah.
It's one of those two.
I think it's in television.
Yeah.
There's a new one coming out.
Yeah.
And
the original Earthworm Jim team is reforming to make a new game. So that should be really cool.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll
awesome.
See. So let's move on to your first pick of the show. What do you got for us?
So I have a game called Blaster Master Zero. This came out on the 3DS and the Nintendo Switch in 2017. The track is called The Abyssal Seas, and it was composed by Ippo Yamada, Hiroaki Sano, Aoi Takeda, Kotaro Yamada, and Naoki Kodaka. Welcome back. That was the Abyssal Seas off of 2017's Blaster Master Zero that came out on the 3DS and the Nintendo Switch. It was composed by Ippo Yamada, Hiroaki Sano, Aoi Takeda, Kotaro Yamada, and Naoki Kodaka.
This is a really good game and a great soundtrack.
I really need to pick this up, actually.
It's really fun, and I need to spend more time with it because I got it on the 3DS, and I don't know, ever since I got the Switch, I'm like holding off on playing some of my 3DS games because I know that they're going to get ported to the Switch, and I kind of want to, get them on the Switch when they have like a physical cart and they got like the two games
download only
put together.
On the 3DS?
Yeah, this is download only. It wasn't a physical release, but the second game came out recently, like this year.
Yeah. And
I kind of get the feeling like they're going to make maybe a physical cart for it and combine the two games. Kind of like what they did with what integrates.
Yep.
Kind of what they did with the Azure Striker Gunvolt games, where they came out with a physical version on the Switch of the two games combined. This is a kind of like a remastered, reimagined version of the first Blaster Master.
Yep, that's what I've heard, and I really enjoyed the first Blaster Master. I will say it's a game that I have never completed because it is so long.
Bonkers hard.
Well, I mean, it's hard. It's also really long. And so I've played the original Blaster Master with a Game Genie, and I still haven't beaten it. Not because of how hard it is, but because of how long it is. It's just like I spent, I think, 2 or 3 hours playing the game. And maybe I just took my time. Maybe the people are like, you can beat it in 2 hours, 3 hours. I have no idea. I'm not a speedrunner.
No.
But I think I got to like the 5th or 6th world, and I was just eventually I needed to just stop.
Yeah.
And there's no saving. There's no anything like that because original NES and they.
You should play it on the Switch.
Well, that's the thing. Like now that I have the Switch and I know that it's on the Switch, I actually didn't even realize it was on the 3DS until I was doing all this stuff. I am probably going to grab it at some point.
Yeah.
In the original Blaster Master, when you pause the game and you hit start, you get the thing with your tank, and it tells you what you have and all that stuff.
I don't think there's any touchscreen stuff though.
Really?
If I recall, I can't remember.
Huh.
In this game, you are taking the role of Jason Frudnick, and he is basically going into this underground lair to rescue his frog named Fred.
Yep.
Right. He gets in this tank vehicle called Sophia, and he starts exploring. There's another female character in this. She's a girl named Eve.
Yeah, they added that for this
new game. Yeah, it wasn't in the original game. She has some sort of connection to the vehicle that you're in. As you play through the game, you kind of learn more and more about it, and they really fleshed out the plot on this one, which is really cool. So you're going in this game, in this water level, you're in a tank. You're in this, tank vehicle.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny because the previous game that we were talking about, Earthworm Jim, that you are playing as Earthworm Jim, kind of running through this underground, like underwater lair. But then eventually you get into a vehicle on your own in that game, and it's like this giant ball, and you're just moving the ball around based on like whatever direction you're pointing it in. It's kind of complicated initially, but the whole point is to not crack the globe, because if you crack the globe, that's it. Jim dies. In Blaster Master Zero, you're just in a vehicle, and you can stay underwater forever. It doesn't matter unless you get out. Like, you can pop Jason out, and then you can like do his little swimmies. His little swimmies. That's the perfect explanation for it.
I just remember in the NES version, like how it looked. You like see the little back
you see his little
kicking.
like arms like beep, beep, beep. Yeah. But cool. I feel the same way about Blaster Master though. It is really tough, and it is really long. I've never beaten it myself. I think I've gotten to like maybe the 3rd or 4th level.
Yeah, no, it just gets harder after that, and it's. I mean, not. I don't think I would call it boring. The main reason that I got bored with
it's tiring.
Yeah. Like,
because not only do you have the platforming aspect, but you also are doing so many things. You get out of the tank, you gotta find the doors, you gotta...
when you go through the doors, it changes. It's no longer platforming. Now you got this weird, like,
top down, overhead, right. Yeah. And so you're doing all these different things. You're trying to figure out where to go next, and the whole level is a maze. It's very, like, Metroid-ish, very non-linear. And it's rough because by the end of a few levels, you're like, dude, I'm tapped out mentally. Like, I just want to beat up some thugs. I'm going to pop in Final Fight. Like, you know what I mean?
That's one of the things, like, I'm excited to play the Zero version because I'm expecting that they added a save feature. If they didn't, then I'm not buying it. But I would imagine it's modern days.
They did.
Nothing's without a save feature.
And what else is cool is Intercreates worked with Way Forward and Yacht Club Games, and they included Shantae and Shovel Knight.
What?
Yeah, you can play as Shantae and Shovel Knight.
And they function as they do in their games? Or is it just like a skin?
I am trying to remember, because I did download Shantae, and I think when she gets out of her vehicle... I don't remember if she has a vehicle or not. I think maybe she's in the Sophia vehicle, but then when she gets out, she's Shantae, but like she shoots her hair and it shoots a laser. I don't know. I really can't remember.
I'll have to look it up. That sounds really cool.
It's pretty neat. Yeah.
But
what did you think of this track?
This track was
very kind of spacey, very grungy with that Naoki Kodaka Sunsoft sound.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, like, they retained that Sunsoft bass. And I really appreciate what they did with this track in general. I listened to the original NES track for the level this is. I believe it's level 5.
Okay.
And they didn't sound very similar, but from what I understand, they did take, if not for the entire soundtrack, for a handful of levels, or a handful of
like the first track, for example, the first level.
Yeah, they took like the original NES and they remastered it, they beefed it up. But what I really like is for a remaster and for how beautiful this game looks, I really appreciate the fact that they stuck with chiptunes. I mean, this definitely isn't an 8-bit track. There's no way that this would be heard on a Nintendo.
No.
But it feels like almost somewhere between an 8-bit and a 16-bit track.
Yeah, I could feel that.
And I really appreciate that they did that for this type of a game.
I got kind of a Game Boy Advance vibe from it.
Oh, okay,
like a heavy, thick molasses bass.
Yeah.
But it feels like it originated on something like the Game Boy Advance. It's got that really kind of throaty Sunsoft bass sound to it. Yeah. But it feels like almost as if it's filtered through like a handheld system.
Yeah, I can see that. I also really enjoy like the crunchy drums. Like they still have those like type of drums.
Like those toms.
Yeah.
I love the Sunsoft drums. Like, they're just fantastic. I mean, we talked so much about Sunsoft on the Mr. Gimmick episodes, so go check that out.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So these composers, there are a few of them.
Yes.
And some of them are composers of the original NES stuff. So we'll get back around to that. But Ippo Yamada started out in 1994 doing X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. He was uncredited for that and a few other games as a sound designer. Mega Man X2, Demon's Crest, all really good games. How dare they not credit him? Went on to do all sorts of awesome Capcom stuff. Mega Man 7, 95, Resident Evil 96, Mega Man 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, ZX and ZX Advent.
Yeah, those,
Sound production.
We're not with Capcom, though. I think Capcom hired Intercreates, because I think Intercreates was a thing back then.
Oh, you're right.
If not, then Mega Man 9 and 10, definitely.
Yeah.
Because Ippo Yamada was definitely credited on those.
Yeah, definitely.
Big time.
And then it looks like they bounced around from there as Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures in 2013, Mighty No. 9 in 2016, Gal Gun Double Piece Mr. Happiness Edition in 2016, Gal Gun 2 in 2018, and the last couple things we have here. He was a music director on Dragon Marked for Death in 2019, this year, and he's also credited as a sound designer on Bloodstained Curse of the Moon.
Right, and Hiroaki Sano, it's interesting with him, he started out way back in 1993 on Cyborg 009, which was a Sega CD game based on the anime Cyborg 009. And, he was doing a bunch of random programming, and then he didn't start his audio career until 2016 with Galgun. Oh. So he did, again, Galgun, Blaster Master Zero, Galgun 2, and Bloodstained Curse of the Moon.
Yep.
Yeah. So basically an Intercreates employee.
Yep. And same with Aoi Takeda. Azure Striker Gunvolt 2 in 2016, Blaster Master Zero, Galgun 2, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, and then Kotaro Yamada.
Same thing.
Exactly. I mean, these guys are all Intercreates. I don't know if we'd say alums, because it doesn't look like they've been around that long, but definitely Intercreates employees.
Yeah. And then Naoki Kodaka is credited for this just because because of the original soundtrack.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. But we love him. He's awesome.
Absolutely. No, I really dug that original soundtrack.
Sure thing. All right.
What's next? I'm almost afraid to ask.
Next up, we have a game called Hydrophobia. This came out in the year 2010 on the Xbox 360. The track is called Hunt Down 1, and it's by Yves Altana, Bjorn A. Lynn, and Joseph Shorox. Hey, you're back. It's XVGM Radio, and that was Hydrophobia. The Xbox 360 exclusive track that came out in 2010. Actually, I think it also came out on Steam or PC or Windows later on, which we'll talk about in a few.
Oh, yeah.
The track was Hunt Down 1. There's no Hunt Down 2. I don't know why they called it Hunt Down 1. And it's by Yves Altana, Bjorn A. Lynn, and Joseph Shorox. So we played this game last night. Well, we played the demo.
Right.
And it was pretty neat. Supposedly, this game released bad reviews, or not so great reviews. The developers were not happy with the reviews. They made it very well known verbally online, and kind of like pointed at the reviewers, like, no, you shouldn't have reviewed this that way or whatever, which is like, dude, that's how reviews work. And they ended up bringing the game back in and working on it and improving a lot of the complaints that were made with the game. But by that point, when they re-released it, it was already too late. But they basically released it as a free update. The game, I think, didn't get re-reviewed. Maybe some people re-reviewed it. It got re-released on Steam by the name Hydrophobia Prophecy.
Yep.
Right. And I believe that version was also released on PlayStation 3. But the original version, Hydrophobia Pure, I guess they're calling it. I don't know. When I looked it up online, it just was on Xbox Live. It was just called Hydrophobia. There is no Hydrophobia Pure on Xbox Live.
Interesting. Oh, you know what it was? The free update that they released was dubbed Hydrophobia Pure.
Right.
So, okay.
So it's an update that fixed the controls and fixed the camera. And honestly, when we were playing the demo, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, I thought I had better impressions of it playing the demo, and it kind of made me want to check out the game, like, get the game.
Yeah. I think you played it for a very brief bit. You played the opening room, and then as soon as we got out, you handed me the controller. And for someone who proclaims himself to not be very good at video games, that's me.
You did pretty good.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that bad. If the controls were bad, it would have been impossible for me to play. Because it would have been like, sure, I'm not good at this, and the controls suck. I can't do this.
Yeah.
But I got through the entire demo.
Yeah.
And it wasn't bad. The only part that I didn't do too well on is there was a guy that you're supposed to save. And I guess if you take too long, he saves himself.
Yeah.
Because I did not understand what I was supposed to actually be doing at that point.
My favorite part of you playing the demo is when
I jumped into the fire?
No, that was really funny. But when you were climbing and you didn't see the spot where it said to open the door to get into the elevator above, and there was an elevator above you that was about to fall, and I'm like, you gotta go in that side door, and you were like, what? And then you started climbing, and as you climbed, the elevator from above just dropped and crushed you. It was hilarious.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah. The plot takes place sometime in the middle of the 21st century. I guess the world is now flooded. There's like this thing called the Great Population Flood. And the whole game takes place on this huge vessel. It's called the Queen of the World. That's what they named it. And it's like city size. Like it's a cityscape.
It's a huge luxury liner.
Right. It's the size of a city, basically. And so you're playing as this girl, Kate Wilson, and she's like an engineer. And you're in your apartment, and you're, I guess, gonna go start your shift. And then all of a sudden, stuff goes haywire, and computer systems start getting hacked. And then holes start getting blown into the vessel. And so the water starts rising, and the whole point, it's like very quickly, it's almost right from the get-go, you're full steam ahead. Yeah. Like, you know, you feel the adrenaline rushing as you're trying to escape and as the water is rising.
Very much like this track.
Yeah.
It was a very heart-pounding track.
Yeah, and I think this takes place like when you're being hunted. Yeah. If I recall, by like maybe like some bad guys or something. There really wasn't any combat that we experienced in the demo.
No, there was one point where I thought there was going to be, and then it was just like you saw some guys, and then they left.
Right.
They showcased some of the combat in the demo reel after the demo, but didn't get to do any fighting.
Nope, but I still think that it was pretty cool. What we did experience is very like Prince of Persia, kind of Tomb Raider-y.
Yeah.
Even the protagonist, Kate Wilson, she reminds me a little bit of Lara Croft, but Scottish. Her accent kept dropping in and out.
Yeah, I don't know if she was actually Scottish. I definitely know that the guy on the comm that she was talking to was Scottish.
What was his name?
Scoots.
Scoots
Magoots.
No, that wasn't his name. His name was Scoots, though.
It definitely was Scoots. Yes.
Yeah.
I couldn't really place her accent. You pointed out after a little bit, and then I realized that like her accent seemed to be all over the place. So.
Yeah, and then like you run into this police guy, this detective or engineer, chief guy, whatever he is.
He sounds American.
And he sounds American, so it's just like voices from all over the world.
Which makes sense because I think this Queen of the World thing is supposed to be like a population center, so it's supposed to have this mix of all these cultures and whatnot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And now that I'm thinking of it, it's possible that Kate was supposed to be like Norwegian or Icelandic or something.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
That might be where it is.
There's these slogans that are kind of like all over the ship when you're running through that says "Save the world, kill yourself."
Yep.
The whole thing kind of like takes on a very dark atmosphere. So this is not one to play around the kiddies, in my opinion. There's like dead bodies and
this is we thought it was supposed to be survival horror at first.
Right.
I think it's actually
it's just survival.
Survival adventure.
Yeah, survival adventure. That makes sense. So these composers who composed this very busy, frantic track that really kind of takes on the game's feel as far as like, you know, a heart-pounding thud.
Yeah, kind of bombastic.
Yeah, but very like, I love those techno-y kind of you know, I don't even know what that is.
The backbeat or the breakbeat or something.
Yeah, something like that. It's very movie-ish.
Yes.
So Yves Altana worked on only this game. Bjorn A. Lynn worked on quite a bit more, actually, a lot more. Starting off with 1991's Escape from Colditz. Kind of jumped around, worked on a lot of the Worms games, Alien Breed, Worms 3D, Worms Blast, Stunt GP in 2001. Did pretty much almost all the Worms games.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff is indie games or PC games that I've never heard of, like Hidden in Time Mirror, Pahalika, Secret Legends in 2009. His last game was Depth Hunter 2 Deep Dive, so continuing with the water theme music there. By the way, his nickname...
I was just going to ask about that.
Dr. Awesome. Which is fantastic.
That's what the A stands for. It's Bjorn Awesomelin.
Yes, exactly. And Joseph Shorrox, again, only Hydrophobia and Hydrophobia Prophecy. So that's it.
All right.
Cool.
Cool indeed. On that note, I'm being told that we're getting a call here. Let's go ahead and take that. Janine, you want to put that through?
Yeah, pop that through. Caller, you are on the air with XVGM Radio. Who is this and what can we do for you?
You got me out so you could get out. We're evil.
Excuse me?
What?
What was that?
Huh? Get out of where?
What are you talking about?
Hello?
It's better one of you dies now. Both of you die slow.
I don't know what this guy is, but that sounded like a threat, so I'm gonna hang up on this gentleman. Oh boy, we get some wacky people calling in.
Yes, we do. Although, you know...
I just want to take a vacation from all this.
So do I. Go to a place
Just
where
like,
you can just relax and float around.
just like on a boat somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
Like in a world that's made of water.
Yeah, like almost as if like it was a map. You know, like it was like a map theme.
I get what you're saying. I think I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, do you?
So next up, we're going to hear the map theme from Water World on the SNES in 1995, and it was composed by Dean Evans.
You know, now that I think about it, was that Kevin Costner?
I really hope not, because that would mean we just hung up on Kevin Costner.
Yeah, whatever. He can go dance with the last of the Mohicans. Anyways, yep, Waterworld, map, Dean Evans. Here we go.
Welcome back. Wake up, grab your brush, put on a little makeup, rub the sleep out of your eyes.
Makeup? I don't need no makeup.
Hide the scars, fade away the shake-up.
Oh, what? Is that
System of a
System of a Down?
Yeah.
That's right, right. Anyways.
But yeah, so that was Waterworld, the 1995 SNES game. The track was called Map, and it was composed by Dean Evans. And if you are unfamiliar with this game, that's because you are not from the Europe portion of the world.
That is true.
This is a PAL game, so we did not get it here in America.
We did not,
I don't believe they got it out there in Japan either.
Yeah.
So
good.
But yeah, the music is so buttery rich.
It is like drinking an ice cold glass of ice water that was formerly urine.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I see.
Come on, I'm sticking with the Waterworld thing.
I was gonna say, like, I get where you're coming from. You're doing the Waterworld thing.
Yeah.
But, like,
okay.
You just completely ruined everything.
This song, it's so good.
It is. I think you were thinking about picking either this or one of the tracks from Waterworld, but I got it first.
You did. And I wrote in all caps on the dock, yes!
With like 12 S's.
Yes, like 1,000. So, man, I love this track. I discovered this one thanks to my buddy Rewind Mike on YouTube. And I gotta thank him because it was quite a find. Oh, it's such a good song. Yeah. It's so chill. This is like
really is.
Pink Floyd type stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know, really reminds me of like that chill out stuff like Have a Cigar or really anything off of Wish You Were Here.
Yep. Dark Side of the Moon.
Dark Side of the Moon. Just super chill, relaxing.
Yes.
Just so good.
I really enjoy this. I discovered Dean Evans when I was on your previous podcast, Pixel Tunes Radio, with Nico, when we did the SNES Deep Cuts episode. He played that Green Lantern, the unreleased Green Lantern track, and I was like, what is this? This is really like super chill. And he's like, no, like Dean Evans, go listen to Waterworld. And I went and listened to Waterworld and was like,
yes,
wow, this guy's awesome.
Yeah, Dean Evans is just absolutely killer. He started off with Pushover in '92.
He did.
He did. And then he did Lethal Weapon that same year. Most of his games came out in 92, actually. Cool World, which I think he did the Game Boy version of that.
Yeah, he was uncredited. So
Yeah.
it's hard to see. But also did Hook in 1992. Jumping up, Jurassic Park in 1993. That is the Amiga and DOS version, not the SNES version, which I'm a strange fan of.
What did you think of the sequel? Because he did that.
That's what I was going to say. Jurassic Park 2, the cast continues on the SNES. He did the music too, and
It's like a Contra game.
Yeah,
it's really good.
I enjoyed that one. So I like both Jurassic Park 1 and 2 on the SNES, but for totally different reasons. And then Flintstones in 95. That Green Lantern game was supposed to be a 1994 game. Didn't come out, obviously.
Right.
So that's not listed on his credits, but we know about it. Rally Championship Extreme in 2001. Rally Championship, end of sentence, in 2003. And then ending with Richard Burns' Rally in 2005. He did the audio on.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Mr. Dean Evans, come back to us. Provide us with more of your dulcet tones.
So good. It's like coitus with a watermelon.
No. You really killed the metaphors here.
Listen, just let me bask. Just let me bask.
It's like a nice tall glass of really warm but not scalding hot butter.
Ugh. Oh.
There, that's what you get.
Oh, that's so gross.
It's so silky smooth though.
Oh. You said you haven't played this one though, right?
No,
Okay.
no. I don't know if I ever came across this in my ROM downloading days. I might have. I feel like I've seen if I haven't played it via an emulator, I've at least seen videos of
Footage, right. It is actually surprisingly good.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Unlike the movie.
Yeah, unlike the movie that's based on. But you play as Kevin Costner, obviously, and
That's the name of the character, Kevin Costner.
yeah. The guy that was, threatening to kill us earlier.
Yes,
That
yes.
guy, yeah.
Turns out.
So you are sailing around on your boat on the map, and that is when this music is playing. Hence why it's called Map Theme.
Yep.
But the game is a mix of shooting and driving and shooting your boat with other boats. And I don't want to say platforming, but I guess platforming. You're not jumping around like Mega Man or like Mario or anything like that. It's more like you're trying to find, I think it's like bags of sand or something like that.
Huh. Oh, no, you're probably trying to find dirt, because that's
Dirt, yes.
I think that's if I remember the movie well enough, I think that's the currency.
Yeah. This also came out on the Game Boy.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
I don't think it's the same soundtrack though.
And the Virtual Boy and the PC.
Yep.
There's supposed to be a Genesis release, but it got canceled. And I guess it was only available on the Sega channel, which seems very conflicting. There is a soundtrack around for it though, and it's nothing like this. So, yeah, because I saw the map theme and immediately went to the map theme and just heard a bunch of screeching, and I was just like, Genesis,
what the hell?
Get it away. I don't know why you're yelling at me. So, the Sega Saturn version was also planned and it was completed, but was also canceled.
It's why, because they realized that the SNES was the superior version and they didn't need to make anything else.
They were like, will you listen to this map theme that Dave Evans made? We can't transfer this anywhere else. It won't sound as good.
It's true.
And that's what happened. This game's also released by Ocean Software.
Yes.
Which I find very ironic. Waterworld, Ocean.
I didn't make that connection.
Zing.
I missed that one. You got it.
Boom. So, I don't know. I think people should really give this one a shot. The only annoying part is the driving of your boat and shooting at stuff. Because the bullets are, if I recall, really small. It kind of reminds me of like Dick Tracy on the NES.
Oh, yeah.
Like those. Yeah. So, I don't know. I personally thought that this one was pretty fun. I enjoyed playing it, and I love this music. I mean, like I said, not a smooth, buttery glass of butter, but it
is buttery smooth, so.
It is buttery smooth, but it is not. This is like.
It's like taking that butter and making it into cookies.
This is like eating an entire thing of fruit salad by yourself.
Oh, I hate fruit salad. You just, man, you are 0 for 3 tonight.
I'm 0 for 3 with you.
On that note,
yeah, let's move on.
Let's see what we got next.
My next pick is from one of my favorite games of all time, Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Kong Quest. This came out in the Super NES in 1995. This track is Lockjaw's Saga, and it's by Mr. David Wise. Oh man, welcome back to XVGM Radio. That was Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy's Conquest. Get it, Justin?
Yeah, I get it now,
Conquest.
yes.
That was the Super NES version, and that came out in 1995. That track was Lockjaw's Saga, and it was by David Wise. And I want to correct myself. Evelyn Novakovic, also known as Evelyn Fisher, and Robin Beeland are also credited on that soundtrack. But I believe David Wise did this song, but I could be wrong.
No, I think you're right.
Yeah.
But just in case, covering all our bases.
Just in case, yeah.
I like sort of the story that it told. Like you've got those almost like toy box piano. I'm not sure what it is, but like the higher pitch. Yeah, it's very very sort of like ampish. And then as it goes on,
I'd say those are strings.
Yeah, I definitely think they're strings. I can't tell if it's you're saying like a violin,
like a violin maybe.
I thought it sounded like they were being plucked, but maybe
maybe it's a harp.
Oh, it might be a
There
harp
you go.
too.
Yeah.
But then, like partway through the song, you get these water sounds, and you can hear like
the
water
sloshing
and a sloshing and a boat. Clearly, like it's either water sloshing against the boat, or it might be a boat hitting a dock or something.
You ever see the ads for diapers? And you ever see the one that was on SNL where they were making fun of like the adult diapers?
No.
And they poured an entire a jug full of iced tea into the diaper just to show you like how much it could hold. I feel like you're wearing that when this noise is playing. When that sloshing, that just like that sloshing. I feel like you just have a diaper full of iced tea.
Fair enough.
And you're wearing the diaper while you're playing this game.
I guarantee you I am not wearing a diaper while playing this game, but
I guarantee you in like 40 years, I will be wearing a diaper playing this game.
That's fair. I don't want to get to that point in my life.
Where you have to wear diapers full of iced tea?
Exactly.
Why are you wearing a diaper full of iced tea?
I don't know, but you're the one saying I'm wearing a diaper full of iced tea.
Listen, just let me live my life, all right? Let me live my 80-year-old life.
You live your best life.
Yeah, that's right. There you go.
But yeah, no, I definitely dug this one.
How about those toms, though?
Yeah.
Those kettle drums or toms or whatever they were. I feel like it's like kettle drums with toms stacked
Like
on
top of them, yeah.
And similar to what you were talking about before, where somebody was just rolling like a bass drum through like a field or like throwing it
into the mud.
Into the mud, yeah. To me, the drums sound like a tom drum playing a kettle drum. Like they're
someone
just
has drumsticks with toms on them, and they're just somebody has like drumsticks and they have toms attached to the end of them. And they're playing kettle drums.
Yeah. Donkey Kong's doing it.
Of course.
While he's captured.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He's got nothing else to do.
Yeah, hey, he's captured. I mean, that's the plot of this game.
Yeah, no.
Donkey Kong's captured. Your big donkey buddy is not with you. You know, you wake up and, you know, as Diddy Kong, who is Donkey Kong's, I don't know, protege.
Son?
No, not son.
Oh, it's not?
I don't think so.
Oh, I always thought it was.
I'm pretty sure no.
Huh.
No.
Nephew, maybe?
Yeah, but Dixie Kong's his sister/love interest.
Well, let's not get into that.
No, I'm pretty sure it's his girlfriend. I'm like 99.5% sure.
I hope so.
That there's still a 0.5 that's like, maybe it's his sister? Because they're monkeys? I don't know, man.
All right.
I don't write this stuff. But I love playing as Dixie Kong. She's my favorite Kong out of all of them because she has the twirly hair and she can go really far distances with the hair. Like spinning.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know, I feel like she has a little bit more weight to her. I always felt like Diddy Kong was just too light. I always felt like I didn't have control with him. But this was one of my childhood favorites. I mean, I was obsessed with the first Donkey Kong Country. I've talked about it before. And then this one came out and I was just gung-ho about it. I got a good report card and I was like, yes, Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest. Let's do this. Played through the game, 100%ed it, loved every moment of it, got the strategy guide, still got the same strategy guide. Friggin' love this game.
Nice.
Great soundtrack. Awesome. I love this song too. It's one of my favorites. These levels are a pain in the butt though.
Yeah.
This is the one when you enter into it, you drop straight down. Like the very first thing that you hear is do-do-do-do-do, and you're just like dropping, and you can kind of rock yourself back and forth to get these bananas as you're falling.
Oh, yeah.
And from there, you end up seeing this animal buddy friend of yours, Glimmer, I believe his name is, and he has a spotlight on him. And it's really frustrating, but also really cool at the same time, because when you're moving, if you move left and right with Dixie or Diddy Kong,
yeah,
the camera or the spotlight moves along with you. And so as you're moving, like it'll move left or right, but it'll also flash in your face when you move to the center. It's really, really cool how they did it, but it's also super kind of annoying. I cannot speak highly enough about it. It's one of those games I break out every so often. I play through like the first like 3 or 4 worlds and then I quit. Just because I don't know, I get distracted.
Yeah,
so.
No, that's fair. I never really played much of any of the Donkey Kong Country games.
Really?
I played them more later in life. But
okay.
when they originally came out, I had no interest in Donkey Kong.
Really?
And they looked, the games looked cool, but I was just like, it's not a franchise that I cared about. Like, I had never really played a lot of like the Donkey Kong Jr., like the old sure games. Like I knew that he was related to Mario in some way, but I was just like, I don't care about those. And then as I got older, like I actually did get into Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. And I was like, oh, these games are really cool. And
so composer-wise, David Wise, we've talked about many times on the show before, but his first soundtrack, which he was uncredited for, was Wizards and Warriors on the NES. He did so many Rare games, pretty much almost all the Rare games. He was their main composer for years and years and years, working on all 3 Wizards and Warriors games, working on the Donkey Kong Country series, working on stuff like Cobra Triangle, Narc. He did the arrangement for Pinbot in 1990. The Nightmare on Elm Street, I believe he did as well. And then Battletoads. He ended up leaving Rare at some point. Worked on some games, just random stuff. His last soundtrack, I think, with Rare was Star Fox Adventures, if we're not counting the Diddy Kong Racing stuff. He did Viva Pinata, Pocket Paradise.
Yep.
Yeah, which was, I think, a portable version of that came out on the DS.
DS, yep.
Yeah, but that was his last official game with Rare. And then he left. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze was kind of the game that got him back into the game. I think he did another game called Sorcery as well just before that, but he jumped back in, started doing Tropical Freeze, which has a great soundtrack. You know, he's just been kind of doing a lot of random stuff. He worked on a little shooter called Star Ghost. He worked on Yooka-Laylee as one of the main composers, which is cool, which was kind of a Banjo-Kazooie spiritual successor.
Yeah.
And last credit was this year, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, or I, in 2018. It's got 4 lines. I don't know.
Yeah, that's...
Why wouldn't they just call it, like, IV for Roman numerals?
Yeah, that's really weird.
It's just I. All right, whatever. Stupid. Snake Pass he did as well, 2017. Let's just say that. That's his last soundtrack. Yeah, let's move on. Evelyn Novakovic, better known to Rare fans as Evelyn Fisher. I guess that's her married name is Novakovic. She started with Rare doing character voices in Killer Instinct, most likely for the female characters like Bjorkid. She worked on Donkey Kong Country 1 doing the sound effects, and worked on Donkey Kong Land 3, Donkey Kong Country 3, doing the music on that one, on Donkey Kong Country 3. She's credited under Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy's Kong Quest for music. I think she may have done the sound effects on that one, but I'm not sure. She did character voices for Jet Force Gemini. She, of course, is the voice of Joanna Dark in Perfect Dark. You know, she's Bjorkid, she's Vila from Jet Force Gemini, and she is Joanna Dark. Three lovely ladies.
Absolutely.
Her last game was Viva Pinata in 2006, where she's credited as production, sound effects, and voiceover recording. Robin Beanland, our final composer to discuss on this one. He just won some kind of crazy award for Sea of Thieves, so congrats to him. So he's still with Rare to this day. Started off with music in Killer Instinct, and then moved on to stuff like Conker's Bad Fur Day. Star Fox Adventures, he's credited as additional musician. Saber Wolf in 2004. It's Mr. Pants in 2004. He's labeled as Squeaky Pants. Banjo Pilot, Viva Pinata, Red Baron in 2006. Kinect Sports, he did all the Kinect games, if I recall. His final game, Sea of Thieves, is doing really well right now, so congrats to him.
Very cool.
Yeah. All right, what you got?
So, I would like to play for you a game from a Mega Man.
A Mega Man?
That's Mega Man 4, the 1991 NES release. This is Dive Man Stage, composed by Mine Fuji and Yasuaki Fujita. You've returned to the XVGM Radio podcast that you were listening to. That was Dive Man Stage from Mega Man 4. Came out on the NES in 1991, and it was composed by Mine Fuji and Yasuaki Fujita.
This is a great game. One of my favorite Mega Mans. One of my favorite tracks. This is a good song. And you picked this one. It's really funny that you picked this one because I actually was going to pick it. I wrote it down, and then I was like, you know what? I feel like Justin's going to pick this one. I really do.
That's so funny.
And I erased it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to pick something different because I have a feeling that Justin's going to pick this for me. So well done, sir.
That's really, really funny because out of all the games, I mean, you and I have talked about Mega Man a lot. Just
sure.
I mean, both on the podcast and in life because we're both Mega Man fans.
Sometimes I just call you and I just scream Mega Man, and then I hang up.
It's true. It's really annoying.
Yeah.
But no, and as we were talking about last night when we were playing through this game, I didn't have a whole lot of experience with Mega Man 4. I actually I owned the game, and as we were playing through it, I was like I was starting to remember like recovered memories. Like, holy crap, I actually have played this. Mm-hmm. But I never really did as well with it as I did with 3. Like 3 was the only Mega Man as a kid that I could really beat. Mm-hmm. And 4, I remember beating Skullman. I think I may have beaten Pharaoh Man at some point, and maybe one other one, but it was a hard game. But playing through it, last night was actually a lot of fun because it showed me that, as a kid, I was just dumb. I never really I wasn't really good at the Mega Man games because I never understood patterns. Like in Ringman's level, that really annoying ring-based mid-boss.
Right.
We were playing, and like when you were playing,
like the hippo.
Yeah, well, the hippo, and then the jingly ring thing.
Oh yeah,
that spreads out. Yeah, you were playing that, and I was like, because we kept missing it. Like you're trying to fire, and every time it pulls itself back in, you can't hit it. And then I was just watching. I was like, oh, it shimmies 5 times, and then it releases. And it's just watch what it's doing.
Yeah, I didn't even
The game
realize
tells
that
you how to beat it. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was so much fun. But this song, I mean, there's a lot of really good tracks in this game, just hands down. But between the 2 water-based tracks, there's this one, and there's Toad Man, and I like them both. But I think this one edges it out just a little bit for me.
I really do like this track, but I don't get a water vibe from it. I know it's a water level.
That's fair. Yeah.
The whole level takes place underwater.
Yeah.
But I don't get you know what I get is a James Bond vibe. It's got a secret agent kind of do.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I don't know. That's always kind of been.
Yeah. I get more of a dance vibe.
Okay.
Just that mostly because of the melody. The da 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 da. Just makes me want to dance.
Yeah, I think it's that do 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 do.
Yeah.
It feels very James Bond.
That's fair
to me, but
I can see
don't
that.
know. So the bad guy this time around is Dr. Cossack, and he's this Russian scientist. And what you end up finding out is, spoilers, his daughter Kalinka was captured by
Dr. Wily.
Dr. Wily, of course. So that's kind of why he was doing this evil stuff, using his robot masters for bad instead of good.
Yep.
Yeah, but he's like a friend of Dr. Light's, and I don't understand why he couldn't just pick up the phone and be like, yo, Dr. Light, just a FYI.
It's not me.
It's not me. But I guess there'd be no game if that was the case.
Right.
If all conflict was solved like that in video games.
Yeah.
Like realistic.
So, composers for Mega Man 4, Minai Fuji, also known as Ojalin, did not do a whole heck of a lot, but she was a Capcom composer for 1991's Mega Man 4, 1992's Super Buster Brothers, and 1993's Breath of Fire. She's also credited on Mega Man 10 in 2010.
Yeah, they brought her back to do a track, which was really cool.
Nice. Yeah, that's a really big break, 1993 to 2010.
Yeah.
I'm glad she came back for that. And then Yasuaki Fujita, also known as Bun Bun, has a whole host of things here. So started out with Final Fight in 1989 doing music and sound, Who Framed Roger Rabbit in 1991.
That's the Game Boy version. We talked a lot about the Fujitas on the Disney Capcom episode with Rhythm and Pixels.
Yep, and the next one I was going to say was Disney's Darkwing Duck in 1992. He was uncredited as a sound composer. Breath of Fire in 1993, and from then on, it looks like he was mostly doing sound design on things like Tomba in 1997, Todd McFarlane's Spawn the video game in 1995, came back to do music composition again in Mega Man 10 in 2010, and then finally did music and sound in 2010 on Final Fight Double Impact.
Which was just the credit for the original soundtrack.
Right.
Yeah. So we're going to move into a track. I mean, we had to play this track. There's no other... I apologize in advance for anyone who gets triggered by this song.
PTSD, trigger warning.
Yes, it's Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. This came out on the N64 in 1998. This track is The Water Temple, and it's by Koji Kondo. mean, really, how could we not pick that track?
I don't know. I have no nostalgia for that game, remember?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Welcome to XVGM Radio again. And that was Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, the N64 release that came out in 1998. That was Water Temple by Koji Kondo. I'm just kind of trying to get everybody out of their coma that they just woke up on. Just wanted to refresh everybody, like, hey, this is what you're listening to right now.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you happen to have some kind of an adverse reaction to hearing that track again.
It's like an allergic reaction.
Yeah, no, I've heard from people who did play this game a lot, this level was not many people's favorite.
Oh, no.
And I know quite a few people that would say hearing that song would bring back terrible memories.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's all people talked about back then. Whenever you talk about Ocarina of Time, the Water Temple comes up and people are just start cursing.
Well, from what I understand, it was really difficult.
It was really tough. I couldn't tell you now how to play through the Water Temple. I don't know how I got through it. I don't know how I beat that game because I had to go through the Water Temple. I think the only reason why I got through it was because I had the strategy guide. That's probably the only reason.
That helps.
Yeah.
But yeah, that track, more of a track, less of a song, I would say.
Okay.
There's definitely musical elements there. I mean, I can probably pick out a melody from some of the like the chimey things, but like that background like almost sounds like the that toy that you can buy that's supposed to sound like water trickling.
Yeah.
It sounds
the
like
Rainmaker.
Yeah. It sounds like a Rainmaker, but they took it as a sample and then they pitched it up and down to make music with it.
It sounds like sunshine spilling out into a tube.
Okay. Sure.
Like a heart made of sunshine being played.
Heart made of sunshine. Okay.
There you go. That's it. I'll allow it.
Yeah.
I'll allow it, McCoy. So, I really like whatever that Arabian sound is. That that guitar.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like Spanish guitar or Arabian. It sounded more Arabian. Kind of like Middle Eastern.
Yeah,
we talked a little bit about Middle Eastern stuff or influences on the Mike's Picks episode last episode.
Yeah, you had a track that had a sitar
Prince
in
of Persia.
it.
Yeah. So, but no, I was really, really enjoying this track. It felt more like an experience than a song. Is the best way to put it.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. This was the game that convinced me to buy an N64 or get one for. I think I got it as a Hanukkah gift. But yeah, this game release was huge. I mean, they had movie trailers for this game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you went to the movie theater, you could watch a Zelda Ocarina of Time trailer, which is nuts.
Yeah.
That's just bonkers.
No, there weren't really game trailers in movies back then. I mean, there still really aren't.
There still really aren't. Like, that's how big this game was. And I think a lot of people don't realize how big this game was. I mean, like, this was like Nintendo's Final Fantasy VII.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You know. So, Koji Kondo. Never heard of him before.
We do this every time.
I know we do. Eventually, we're going to have to, I guess, go over some games that he's done. So, let's go with some more obscure stuff for composition. Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks.
Okay, yeah.
How about Super Mario Maker? He did music on that.
That's fair.
Believe it or not. Super Mario Odyssey, I guess he came back to do music on that.
Oh, okay.
Probably with a few other people.
That's a more recent one.
Yeah. How about an older one? Famicom Mukashi Banashi Shin Onigashima. That was in 1987.
Oh.
And, I don't know, soccer in 1985.
Fair enough.
Yeah. All right, well, it looks like we were getting a call on our Patreon hotline. That means we're getting a patron request.
I love seeing that red light up.
Oh, yeah. So let's go ahead and take that call. Caller, you are on the air with XVGM Radio. And which patron am I talking to today?
This is Anson.
And Jordan. We want to share with the XVGM listeners, current and future,
The passion, the awesomeness.
the energy, the force that is... Water Clouds!
Huh.
By Motoi Sakuraba from the vastly underrated Batten Kaitos Origins.
Thank you.
No problem.
Very cool, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for doing the entire introduction for us there. With that, I think we should just play that track.
Hit it.
You're listening to XVGM Radio, where the bits just keep coming.
Hey, welcome back. That was Jordan and Anson Davis's Patreon pick for the episode. It was Baton Kaitos Origins, which came out on the GameCube in 2006. The track was called Water Clouds, and it was composed by Motoi Sakuraba.
Good stuff by Motoi.
Very good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's really kind of sounds like a Monolith Soft game.
Yep, yeah.
You know, very Xenoblade-ish, Xenogears, that whole, Monolith Soft.
Yeah. Those guys.
Those guys, you know.
Yeah. No, this one was very... The word flowy keeps coming to mind, and I don't think that's the right word, but it's very uplifting.
Like water flowing through clouds.
Yeah, I guess. We'll continue with the water theme tonight. Maybe it is appropriate.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why the word was in my head, actually. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, it's very, I like that just the main melodic line was just sort of took me away.
Flowy, yeah.
Not even, like I jumped in the river and just took me away.
Right through the clouds.
Right through the clouds.
Into your death. I don't know.
You know what? I'm okay with it. If it's my time, it's time to go.
Listen, that's what's up. But I don't know. At least you're not wearing a diaper full of iced tea.
Iced tea? Yeah, no, sure.
Yeah, that's
Thank
true.
you for bringing that up again.
Yeah. I really wanted to check out this game, but I can't get on board because it's one of those card-based RPGs.
Oh, yep.
Kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or like Lost Kingdoms on the GameCube. I don't know. It was like right around that era where all of a sudden RPGs were like, we're going to have a card thing in it. I don't know. Just kind of doesn't really jive my interest. But this soundtrack's great, though. I mean, it's pretty good stuff overall. I mean, you can't go wrong with Motoi Sakuraba.
No, that's true. Yeah, I don't know much about this game. I was not a GameCube owner, so
okay.
I didn't own it, and I hadn't. So I had heard of Baton Kaitos,
right?
Just in general, this apparently is the prequel to Eternal Wings of the Lost Ocean.
Yep.
But outside of that, I had never really seen or played any of the games. So I am interested to know more now that it has been suggested by some of our patrons.
Yeah, I mean, if you like the card game in like Final Fantasy VIII, maybe that would
Triple Triad. Yeah,
Triple Triad. Maybe that would. I don't think it's. I think it's definitely more fleshed out. I mean, when it comes to the battle system, it's not. It's not the same. I think I played this one really briefly, and I just couldn't get into it. Like that's I said. But the soundtrack's great.
Yeah.
So I really like the use of chorus effects. With like the almost like operatic stuff where it's like like the really high pitched,
like Space Ghost.
Yeah, like Space Ghost, coast to coast, moving beyond Space Ghost. Let's move into your next pick. What do you got for us?
Yeah, so we're gonna hear a track called Dolphin Shoals, and you might know that there are many songs called that because there are many games that have it in it. So we're gonna listen to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's version. That came out on the Switch in 2018, and there are so many composers on this.
Goodness.
I will do them now, and I will not do them again after the break. So we have Shiho Fuji, Atsuko Asahi, Ryo Nagamatsu, Yasuaki Iwata, Asuka Hayazaki, Toru Minagishi, Kazumi Totaka, and Koji Kondo.
You got it.
Welcome back to XVGM Radio with your hosts, Mike and Justin. That was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch. 2018 was the year of release, and that song was Dolphin Shoals. It was composed by Keenan Ivory Wayans.
I don't think so.
Jim Carrey.
Probably not.
Chris Farley.
Definitely not.
Adam Sandler.
You guys see where I'm going with this?
Possible,
Okay,
yeah.
alright, yeah. SNL much? Jeez.
Yeah, no, seriously.
That's sax, man.
That's it's a good sax man.
Good sax, man.
Yep.
Sax, man. Yeah, good stuff. I was really digging this.
Yeah, no,
It's a fun track.
It is. I picked this one particularly because it was really like upbeat and jazzy and kind of funky. I have played Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. What is this on the Switch?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same song that's on Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't play Deluxe. I played the one on the Wii U.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a fun song to listen to play to. I'm trying to remember the level that this one is in. Obviously, it's underwater.
This is the one where... Yeah.
Is this one where you go underwater? And
yeah,
up?
you keep popping in and out of underwater. Yeah,
okay.
It's really, really fun level.
Yeah, it was a really cool design that they had for it too, with just the way that everything works in this one.
I think Mario Kart 8 is honestly probably the best Mario Kart.
Really?
Yeah, it's really, really good. It's a lot of fun. I mean, I have a lot of nostalgia for 64, which is weird because you would think that me being, like an 80s kid and like 90s, like early 90s, like Super Mario Kart would be my favorite.
Yeah.
I didn't really play that one that much.
Really?
I played a little bit. I rented it once and it was fine, whatever. But yeah, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is really, really fun. It's a great game.
Yeah.
And it's tons of fun to play online too, which is nice. But I gotta say, like, when it comes to Mario Kart, like, I like playing it, but it gets to a point where, like, I can only play it so much. And I also cannot play it without playing with friends. Like, I can't just sit around and play Mario Kart.
Oh, no?
Like, by myself. No, I can't. It's impossible. I'll die. Or I'll explode. One or the other.
That's fair.
That's fair. Yeah. So you'll explode.
That is similar to the experience that I had with Mario Kart DS. I think that might be my favorite Mario Kart game.
Really?
Yeah, it was... something about it, like,
It was pretty good.
More or less mastered that game.
Okay.
I got through all... Like, I played the single player, or the offline stuff, more or less to death, and then I ended up playing online, and online was a whole lot of fun, too.
Wasn't that the one where they introduced snaking?
Yeah.
And, like, you could get boost nonstop if you got really good at the game.
Which is exactly what I did.
Yeah. Anyways, so there's so many composers.
There are. So Jim Carrey, better known as Shino Fuji.
You caught me off guard. I was rubbing my eye while you were talking.
Started off in 2007 with Wii Fit, actually.
Oh? So a newer Nintendo employee.
Definitely. New Super Mario Bros. Wii in 2009, and Splatoon in 2015.
Atsuko Asahi worked on Steel Diver in 2011, doing the music on that. Also worked on The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker in 2013. And his last game is ARMS on the Switch in 2017.
Ryo Nagamatsu started out doing music on Wii Play in 2006. Did music in Super Mario Galaxy 2 in 2010, and ended with the music in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in 2017.
Yasuaki Iwata worked on Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in 2014 and 2017 respectively. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild in 2017, they were responsible for the music on that one, as well as ARMS in 2017.
Yes, and Asuka Hayazaki started out doing music composition in Super Mario 3D Land in 2011, did music in Pikmin 3 in 2013, and Star Fox Guard in 2016. They were sound support.
Toru Minegishi started working with Nintendo on Pocket Monsters Stadium as part of the Game Freaks crew. Later jumped on to do games like Mario Power Tennis, Mario Pinball Land, and we'll do one more, Mario Tennis Aces in 2018. That was the last game that they worked on. They're credited as voices, so to be fair, the last game that they worked on composition-wise was Mario Kart 8.
And then Kazumi Totaka has a much, much longer list here. Still only going to do 3, though, just to keep this quick. Did music on X in 1992. That was a Game Boy game by Nintendo.
Yep. The predecessor to Star Fox.
Oh, you're right.
Yep.
Oh, wow, that's really cool. Up to the 2000s, they did music on Luigi's Mansion in 2001, and the most recent thing that they did music composition for, other than Mario Kart, is Super Smash Bros. For Wii U in 2014. They did music arrangement.
Totaka is pretty famous, and we've talked about him before.
Right.
He's the one that has his own little song that he puts in every game that he works on.
Oh, that's right.
The one that's like do 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 do.
And the last one is Koji Kondo, but we literally just talked about them.
Just talked about him. So let's move on. My last pick is from a game called Abzu, A-B-Z-U. And it came out on the PlayStation 4, Windows, Xbox One in 2016, and it came out on the Switch in 2018. This track is called To Know Water. And there's very important that there's a comma in between there. And this track is by Austin Wintory. Welcome back, XVGM Radio listeners. Dry your tears. That was Abzu on the PlayStation 4, the PC, or Windows as it's better known, Xbox One in 2016, and then it had a follow-up Switch release in 2018. That track is To Know Water, and that's by Austin Wintory.
Yeah, that was a beautiful, beautiful track.
Very sad.
Very sad, and a lot shorter than I actually realized.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how quick that how quickly that would go by.
Went by in a flash.
Yeah. So you haven't played this one?
No, I have not.
So this game is a lot of fun. If you're into just like exploration and whatnot, that's what this game is all about.
Okay.
It's funny. So I do have this game. I have not beaten it. My wife has. And it is really beautiful, for one.
Yeah, it is pretty.
It's very reminiscent of some games by a company called That Game Company. If you're familiar with Flow and Flower and Journey. I thought, actually, originally that this game was by them, and it is not.
Oh, okay.
This game is actually developed by Giant Squid Studios and published by 505 Games.
Okay.
And I feel like they really captured the essence of that, what that game company has been doing with their stuff, because it is what it is. So it's an exploration game. You're not, as far as I've seen, you're not ever in any real danger. There's a lot of things that happen in this game that put you in sort of a tense situation that you feel like there's danger. And I mean, even things like Journey do that, and I'm pretty sure that you can actually in Journey. There are ways that you can get killed, but towards the end there's some actual enemies. But in this game, your main thing that you are trying to avoid is a shark.
Okay.
But you basically just sort of You start the game by waking up in the middle of an ocean. You're this person in a dive suit, nothing around for miles, and you just dive and start exploring, and there's all these fish, and you kind of gather information about the fish and the coral and all the other stuff around. And you can communicate sort of, like, you can't talk to the fish, you're not Aquaman or anything, but you have different abilities, and there's these like chimes that you can that you can use to like get the attention of like schools of fish, and then like lead them to certain areas and stuff. And it's just a breathtaking game. It's visually beautiful and audibly gorgeous.
Yeah. I really like this track. It's very flowy. It's very relaxing, very somber, very sad. It also kind of reminds me a little bit of like a movie soundtrack song. Yeah.
You
know, for sure. But I don't really have much to say about the game because I haven't played it, but I've seen some video of it and it looks really pretty.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I mean, again, this is another track that makes beautiful use of like those vocals.
Yeah, very really, haunting.
Yes, very kind of haunting. Like, it really gives a good underwater feel. It's kind of got that minor key to it, and just the way, like, the etherealness of both the strings and the instruments and the voices. It just, I don't know, to me it really screams underwater. Don't drown.
So Austin Wintry started off in 2002 with a game called Ages of Etheria, and that was just the theme. That's all he did. Later on in 2006, he worked on Flow, as you mentioned. So he did do Flow. He worked on the music for Journey.
Oh, that is a gorgeous soundtrack as well.
Yeah, and he worked on a game called Horn, a game called Monaco, What's Yours Is Mine.
Oh, I've heard that.
He did Leisure Suit Larry Reloaded in 2013. And he did the Banner Saga trilogy, Banner Saga 1, 2, and 3. He also did a game called Absolver, which is a pretty neat game as well. Cool.
It's a really good resume. Yeah, I mean, I keep going back to Journey because there's a lot of similarities here. I mean, Journey also has a really beautiful soundtrack, and the year that my wife and I went to MagFest, they actually had Journey live. So there was somebody playing the game Journey, and there was no sound for the game. There was a live orchestra that was playing the music, and they actually transitioned like pieces as things were going on.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was mind-blowing.
Yeah. All right, well, you have the last pick of the day, so what do you got for us to close us out on this watery journey?
All right. So
speaking of journeys.
Yeah, nice. So I'm going to close this out with something that may feel a bit unexpected, and if it is, then I've done my job. So the game is Final Fantasy X. The year is 2003. The system is PlayStation 2, and the track is Blitz Off. This is the Blitzball theme, and it is a water theme because you play Blitzball in a sphere of water. The track is composed by Junya Nakano and Masashi Hamauzu. Welcome back. That was our last track of this episode. That was Blitz Off from Final Fantasy X. It came out on the PS2 in 2003 and was composed by Junya Nakano, Masashi Hamauza, and I failed to mention earlier, Nobuo Uematsu. He's on every Final Fantasy game, and this one is no different. He was sound producing and music production, so there's a couple of tracks specifically that are Nobuo tracks. I believe this one actually is not one of his. Okay. But he was on the soundtrack.
Right. I have memories of playing this one.
Really?
Yeah, I did. So
are your memories mostly of bad voice dubbing?
Yeah. Titus. So, I don't know. Yeah, I remember in the, mid 2000s, maybe 2006, 5, around there, I was really into replaying Final Fantasy games. So I started with 7. And me and a buddy of mine, Al, he and I tag teamed it at his house, playing through it. And after we finished 7, because we had both separately beaten 7, we just wanted to play it together. I think we started playing 10. I don't think we played
8 or 9.
Yeah, we didn't play 8 or 9. We played 10. We jumped to that one because I'd never played it. So we started playing it, and I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was really fun.
Oh, definitely.
The characters were cool. I mean, aside from the fact that the voice acting was really awful.
But to be fair, it was also the first Final Fantasy with voice acting.
True.
So, the first of anything is going to be a little rough.
Yeah.
Overall, I really, really liked a lot of the music. Like the Hymn of the Faith. I'm also sort of a sucker in a lot of Final Fantasy games for the side... Not the side quests, but the side things. Like Final Fantasy VIII, you had Triple Triad. Final Fantasy IX, you had Tetramaster. And Final Fantasy X, we had Blitzball. I don't remember if I mastered the whole Blitzball thing or not, but I do remember I participated in the big Blitzball super event thing where you had to go against every team, and it was a lot of fun. It was definitely different coming out of 2 games where the side thing was a card game, and now it's a whole sport.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting concept to add into a Final Fantasy, and I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I just remember playing Blitzball and being very confused by it. I will say that.
It's underwater soccer, Polo.
Yeah, I know. I mean, logically, if you think about it without playing it, it makes sense. But when you actually start playing it, you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, no, it was definitely a little confusing.
I got up to the part of this game where I got stuck trying to get Titus's ultimate weapon. I think it's the one where you have to dodge lightning.
Yeah, on the lightning planes. Yeah, that one's only hard because I often got psyched out. I believe I did get it.
Wow, really?
It was...
You have to dodge lightning 300 times.
It's 300? Okay.
I think it's 300.
I couldn't remember what the number was. Yeah, you have to... And I think it's 300 times without screwing it up.
That is just... No. That game gets all of my no for that.
It definitely took a long, long time because I had to basically adapt to all of the signs that tell you that lightning's about to strike, and then just and not hit the button too early, and it was definitely frustrating.
Oof.
But the rest of the game was also really interesting. I liked the characters. I really enjoyed the cast of characters. I enjoyed Titus for the most part. I liked Yuna. I really, really liked Riku, Lulu.
I like Lulu.
Of course you did. Who doesn't love a skirt made of belts?
Oh, of course.
She was really cool. And then Waka, I believe I found Waka to be a little annoying.
Really? I actually think I liked Waka. Waka was the one who was married to Lulu, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
He was the other professional blitzball player.
Yeah, he was pretty cool.
His weapon was a blitzball.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
No, he was pretty coul. I can't remember. I may just be remembering things wrong, or I may be remembering his character from Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
But I just maybe I'm mixing him up with somebody else.
Yeah.
But, somebody in that game was a little bit annoying.
Probably Titus.
I mean, Titus was annoying for different reasons. I mean, he had the father complex and just a really his voice acting wasn't so great. His
Dad, get off me!
Yeah.
God, you're like the worst, Dad.
I mean, literally, his dad is the worst. His dad is Sin.
I know.
Spoilers, by the way.
Spoilers. What is up with Final Fantasy games and all the lead characters are just God, Mom, leave me alone.
Emo teenage boys.
Yeah.
I wonder if they had a target demographic.
Maybe.
Although in 9, I don't... no, Zidane was a little emo at times, although not nearly as much as Squall or even...
Cloud.
Cloud wasn't super emo. There's a period in the game where he's really
super emo. Yeah. It's like, I don't even know who I really am.
Yeah.
God, Mom, you're like the worst. So, these composers...
Yeah, there's a few of them. All right, so Junya Nakano started off as a guest composer on X-Men in 1992, and that was the...
Arcade game?
Yes, arcade, PS3, Xbox 360, yes, that was the arcade.
That was the arcade game.
They did music composition on Hexion in 1992, Tobal #1 in 1996.
Good soundtrack.
Yes, fantastic soundtrack, and a good game. They did a couple of the front mission games, Gun Hazard and Alternative in 96 and 97 respectively. Samurai Legend Musashi in 1995. I remember that being a lot of fun. They did arrangement on Final Fantasy IV, the re-release that came out in the DS in 2007, and as well music composition on Final Fantasy IV, the After Years, which came out in 2009. And then we have Masashi Hamauzu, who started out with Junya in 1996 on Tobal #1. Also did one of the front mission games, Saga Frontier 2 in 1999. That was a lot of fun. Unlimited Saga 2002. Did some original music composition that was used in Theatrhythm, Final Fantasy, and Curtain Call. And then we have some compositions in Final Fantasy Explorers, and we'll end with World of Final Fantasy and Maxima in 2016-2018. They did music on.
And Nobuo Uematsu we don't need to talk about because we've talked about him millions of times.
Literally needs no introduction.
Yes. This song, though, which we haven't talked about yet, if this is like a wet techno song, that's the only way I can describe it.
Okay.
It's a very wet sounding song. Mm-hmm. It's like if there was a techno song that was made with water.
With water.
Yeah. I was thinking Wetrix initially, but no. Like, Wetrix is like just a straight-up techno song made with standard techno sounds and instruments and keyboards and et cetera, et cetera. But this, I don't know what. That's all I got, is it sounds like it was made with water.
That's fair. I can get behind that. And I think that's probably what they were going for.
A lot of
all things considered.
drippiness.
Yeah.
Techno drippiness.
Yep.
Gross.
The entire reason that I picked this song is that I thought it would be funny. I mean, it really does feel and sound like a water theme, which is really good. But I was going through and I was like, oh, I want to pick a Final Fantasy song, and then it hit me. I was like, oh, Final Fantasy X has that whole sport that's played underwater.
Right.
Like, I thought that would be funny.
All right. So, favorite song of the episode. Pick your track.
So I'm actually going to go with your Abzu track, To Know Water.
Really?
Yeah, it was... I forgot like how rich that music is from that game, and that really, really resonated with me. And then very, very close second and third. I think they're both tied for second. I'm going to say Dive Man and Waterworld.
Ooh. Yeah. Man, this is tough. I'm going to go with Waterworld.
Okay.
I love that track.
That's a really good track.
Such a good song, and the instrumentation on it is incredible. Runner-up would be Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest.
Fair. Yeah.
So you have won my choice of Waterworld. And for a third track, if I was going to pick one, I'm going to go Earthworm Jim.
It's funny. I was looking at that. I was like, he's going to go with Earthworm Jim.
Yeah.
Good picks.
Yeah, definitely.
What about you, dear listeners? What did you like out of this episode? Let us know in the comments on Facebook. What was your favorite? What did you like? And is there anything that we played that was way off? Is there anything that we said that just rubbed you the wrong way?
Oh, I could tell them one thing that definitely rubbed them the wrong way.
Oh, don't worry, they'll tell us.
Yeah.
Is there anything that rubbed you the right way? Maybe don't tell us, because that sounds really bad.
Something involving Lulu and a diaper full of iced-tea.
All right. That's 3. You get 3.
Yes.
Really had a lot of fun with this one. All of the water themes. And I think when we were talking in our Patreon live show recently, we mentioned sort of the same story of how this came about.
Right.
And I think we do need to do like a follow-up to this. Because there's so many really good like water-related themes or water games and stuff like that.
We're definitely not done with this one. I agree.
Yeah.
So, quick announcement. we are going to be at Too Many Games on June 21st through June 23rd of 2019. So if you are going to that, let us know in either our Discord or Facebook or Twitter, or shoot us an email.
Yeah.
And we'd like to get a little meetup going. Maybe go hang out at Taco Bell. We've got some stickers to give away as free gifts to anyone that spots us. We'll be the two idiots in the XVGM Radio shirts. So definitely stop us one of those days. Or if you just recognize our goofy faces, just stop us and say hello.
And if you would also like to be an idiot in a XVGM Radio t-shirt, you can buy an XVGM Radio t-shirt or sweatshirt or hoodie.
Or mug.
Or mug.
Yep.
And other merch by going to our store. So you can get to our store via a couple different ways. So if you go to our website, xvgmradio.com, it is currently one of the only things on our homepage. The website is still a little bit in progress, and
we completely redesigned you redesigned the entire website. So.
Yeah, we moved away from Wix and back to WordPress for a number of reasons. But if you go to our website, it's right under home. It's a shop for XVGM Radio merch. We have a Spreadshirt store, and you can also get hats and other stuff. So feel free to check it out. And if we see
T-shirts.
If we see you at Too Many Games and you are wearing a shirt, you don't even need to talk to us. We're going to give you a sticker.
Yeah.
And if you're not wearing a shirt and you talk to us, we'll give you a sticker.
Yeah. You get a sticker either way.
Yeah.
It's win-win for you.
So, we'd like to take a moment to thank our Patreon patrons, without whom this show's continued improvement would be impossible. They are Alex Messenger, Scott McElhone, Cam Worma, Chris Murray, Kung Fu Carlito of the Heroes 3 podcast, Jordan and Anson Davis, Chris Myers, Peter Panda, The Autistic Gamer 89, and John Mixmaster Jekyll. If you would like to become a patron, you can sign up at patreon.com/xvgmradio. There you can see the different tiers as well. Just $1 gets you a thank you and access to our monthly live shows.
You can visit our website, xvgmradio.com, where you can listen to all the episodes and learn more about your hosts, as well as any of our guests or composers that we've had on the show.
If you'd like to reach out to us, you can always email us at xvgmradio@gmail.com.
And if you'd like what you've heard, please consider giving us a rating on iTunes and a review.
You can also join our Facebook group and chat with other VGM lovers at www.facebook.com/groups/XVGM Radio, where we talk about everything from current game news to sharing awesome VGM tracks, or just talking about the podcast itself.
And you can find us on Twitter and Instagram. Our handle for both of those sites is @XVGM Radio.
If you don't have any other social media or just want to try something unique, check us out on our Discord group chat. Links will be in the show notes.
So next episode 28, what do we got coming up?
So coming up next, we have a very interesting deep dive. We're going to be taking a look at Namco and the Namco 163 chip for the Famicom.
Yes. Yeah, this is going to be a very in-depth technical episode. We'll be diving deep, very similar to the way that we did on the Mr. Gimmick episode and the FME or the FM7 chip. We're going to be talking about all that stuff.
It's going to be good times.
Yeah, lots of wacky Namco games with soundtracks, which some songs sound exactly like NES stuff, and other songs sound like other systems, like TurboGrafx.
Yes, yeah.
So, should be interesting. Once again, this is Mike.
And Justin.
Signing off for XVGM Radio. And just, from the mid-2000s, he then moved on to working on, Too Many Games. No, sorry.
I was going to say
Whoops.
He worked on that convention?
Yeah, no. There was also a Windows 90. Yeah, there was also a Windows 99. No. There was also
a Windows version in 1999?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
All right.
Really high pitched.
Like Space Ghost.
Yeah, like Space Ghost, coast to coast. What? Space Ghost. You need to flip that card, Space Ghost. Use your attack.
Hey, are you going to do anything with that? Because I'm going to drink it.
Moltor.
Yep. I assume you're doing Zorak, so.
Did you say cards?
I think you want chips.
Hey, did you say that shit?
I can't do
Brack.
Brack. I cannot do Brack.
All right. Anyway, moving beyond